going to share with you a recipe that is delicious, nutritious, and will save you money. We're going to be making pumpkin fritters from the belly pumpkin. So let's go over the ingredients. We have 2 cups of pumpkin puree. Now I would have cut the pumpkin and then I crushed it afterwards till we have a nice smooth puree. 2 cups of pumpkin puree. We have 2 cups of all-purpose flour. I would have already sifted the flour, so we have 2 cups of flour. We have 1 cup of brown sugar. Now you may use white sugar if you have, but 1 cup of brown sugar. 1 tablespoon of nutmeg and 1 tablespoon of cinnamon and a 1/4 teaspoon of salt for our spices. 2 tablespoons of baking powder. I always add baking powder to my pumpkin fritters to get them nice and fluffy. 1 tablespoon of essence and 1 cup of oil for frying. We're going to get ready to mix our batter for our pumpkin fritters. So we're going to add, first, it doesn't matter what order you add them in, you just add everything together. We're going to add our pumpkin puree. Now we always have a problem as parents with our preteens and teenagers eating pumpkin. They're always throwing it away, thus wasting our hard-earned money. One way we can get them to eat pumpkin is by changing it into pumpkin fritters. We're going to add our flour now, all-purpose flour. Once we add all of our ingredients together, we're going to just combine them until it makes a nice batter. Then we'll get ready to fry. We're going to add our spices now, our cinnamon, our nutmeg, and just a pinch of salt, 1 teaspoon, and our essence. We're going to reserve our baking powder for last. That is the last thing we're going to add because you know the baking powder, once it reacts when you mix it with liquid. So we're not going to add our baking powder just yet. We're going to mix all of our ingredients together until they're nice and combined. And then I'm going to add our baking powder. We're going to add a little bit of water to our batter. Not too much because we don't want it to be all runny. But we're going to add water until it becomes nice and pliable. It's almost ready, so now we're going to add our baking powder as the final ingredient. And we're going to combine. Now we'll set this aside for about 2 minutes while we put our oil on to get hot as we prepare to fry. Our oil is now ready for frying. We would have tested it and it is nice and hot. Now you may have to use more than 1 cup of oil because we are deep frying. We're not shallow frying, so we're not using a frying pan. You're going to use either a buck pot or a saucepan, and we're going to add enough oil to deep fry. So we're going to add our pumpkin fritters now to the oil, and then I'll show you when they're done. They smell amazing. So I'll be back to show you the next step. Good. Our pumpkin fritters are now done, and they look like fluffy little pumpkin pillows, if there's such a thing. Now I like to eat my fritters as soon as they're out of the frying pan or out of the saucepan, nice and hot. But I need for you to see the inside. There's a nice crust on the outside, whoo, hot, and nice and fluffy, whoo, on the inside. Ooh, just see that steam. And like I always say, the best part is to taste. It's so fluffy. It reminds me of a donut. Is there such a thing as a pumpkin donut? I don't know. Pumpkin fritters? No, you need to try it.